I was enjoying my career as a sales manager, and then my 25-year-old sister killed herself. Now, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, I felt sorry for myself for a day, and then I was determined to manage it. And so I quit drinking. But now when my sister died, I started drinking, and nothing bad happened. So I kept drinking, and I kept drinking, and I kept drinking. And all of a sudden, something that wasn't part of my life anymore had become all of my life. And I spent the next several years as a highly functional alcoholic. And I mean highly. My career flourished during this time. I didn't go to jail, I didn't go to hospitals, I didn't lose my car, I didn't lose my house, I had relationships. And I wasn't an everyday drinker. I didn't get drunk every time I drank, and bad things didn't happen every time I drank, or every time I did. But it was easy for me to hide and to lie to myself about the selfish choices, the destructive behavior, and the immense power that alcohol had over me. Now, I justified my actions through this victim mindset that I've been cultivating all these years. I thought I was gritty and resilient. What I really was fearful and resentful. When you're in fight or flight mode all the time and always convincing yourself of just how unfair it all is, it becomes you against the world. But then you become a victim of the world. Now, the more that I drank, the more people talked about me, and I didn't like it. So I decided to quit drinking because of other people's problems. How do you think that worked out? Any takers? All right, ended in catastrophe. I spent the next 4 months miserable, and I mean miserable. I was white knuckling it and tempting fate. I went to every happy hour. I went to every birthday party. I hung out by the keg every Friday. I threw beer Olympics at my house. And it was miserable. And then the best thing happened to me. I was diagnosed with cancer for the 3rd time. This time was different though. It was different because while still thyroid cancer, even though I don't have a thyroid, there's a tumor pressed up between my vocal cords and the artery. And the doctors didn't want to operate. Now, spoiler alert, it has been over 10 years, and that tumor still takes up real estate in my neck. But what I heard at the time, you have inoperable cancer. There was nothing left for me to do but drink. After all, who was gonna mess with me? I had inoperable cancer. I buried myself deep into a bottle until I finally found myself a bottom. And I came to in this rare moment of lucidity on the floor of a Las Vegas hotel, being surrounded by cops and security, being thrown out. This is a real kicker. I was supposed to be the speaker at our conference the next day. They told me I was in a fight. Apparently I tried to have sex with a hooker in a broom closet while my girlfriend slept down the hall. Now I had to wake her up and spin some nonsense about why we were getting thrown out. And it took several hours for us to be able to find a place to sleep. It ain't like you see in the movies, all right? They do not let you just sleep anywhere. They will wake you up. It was horrible. And when my head finally hit the pillow that night, I said out loud, I don't want to live this way anymore. Now I tell that story in all its glory for 2 reasons. One, nobody's gonna care about who I am now if I'm not brutally honest about who I was. And number 2, if any of that part of the story resonates with you, there is a way out. And I'm all ears anytime you want to talk. Because I flew home the next day and I started a program of recovery. And I just celebrated 10 years in July.